What's up, guys? So for today we're just gonna be rolling this blunt. I'm rolling some weed on a berry fusion Dutch, and that's what I'm doing for right now. Let's see how this works out. So I had this, like, what would you call it, a streak of buying dispensary weed, but I just kind of started to realizing that, damn, it's really expensive, and realistically my buddy's got probably about the same, not the same THC percentage wise. It is 5 percentage points lower than what I usually got at the dispensary. So I'm thinking that it's really not worth the money that much. I'm not entirely sure yet. I mean, I feel like I am sure a little bit, because I don't know, I feel like the whole point of smoking weed just becomes the act of smoking it. Like, you'll still get a little bit high, you'll still get somewhat high, but at the end of the day, like, you're still smoking weed, and you're still getting high. It all just kind of becomes the same. It's a lot better when you can smoke a lot more of the good stuff rather than stuff that's lower THC. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. We'll see how it works out. Anyways, today's topic will be I'm thinking goals. Something very important about making goals is how you have to write them down. People don't write as much anymore. Probably because they're too busy. They got jobs, they got things going on, whatever. But if you want to be able to, like, feel yourself think and manifest your thoughts into real life, you have to write. You have to write. I don't care if it's on the computer or the laptop, anything, writing a paper. I think that's why people were focused so much on writing things in high school, or our teachers were, because they just wanted us to write. They don't really care that much about the research. I mean, some teachers did, but they just wanted us to form a fucking opinion, and that's what a lot of people can't do nowadays. They can't form an opinion. They can't, because they don't know enough about a subject. I mean, obviously, I don't know enough about a subject like maybe neurology or border wars. I don't know, but still, it's important to write what your thoughts on it are, so you have a baseline that you can work off of. And you're eventually going to meet people that know more than you. That is a fact. You will meet people that know more about you in every single category, unless you're like a big expert on whatever your field is on. But you have to take into consideration that you don't have all the answers, and even if you think you do have all the answers, you're only going to really find all of the answers from other people. So anyways, that's where I think writing really comes into handy, because you're able to just write down what you think. And when you're in the process of thinking, it feels like it's really fast, right? It feels like it's moving along pretty quickly. But when you write, you have to really analyze what you're actually thinking and take a step back, because a lot of people can't write that fast. They can't write as fast as the speed of their thoughts, so they have to think more about what they're writing. And thinking more about what you're writing eventually leads you to deciding that what you're writing about essentially makes no sense to anyone but yourself. It's just an important thing. It's an important thing to be able to write. Personally, I'm a terrible writer. I'm not a very good one at all. I like to think I'm good. I've written some pretty decent papers in my day. But at the end of the day, I've always read someone's papers that was a lot better. I'm gonna go spark. No way. Maybe I have a lighter in here somewhere. Let's hope. Otherwise, I might have to go over to the stove to light this guy up. And yes, I do have a lighter. It is a Nirvana lighter. I love Nirvana. Objectively, their best album was Nevermind. Like, people act like it's not, like they say In Utero, but no, dude, no, come on. That lighter was almost out of fluid. I think I got some of it out of it. But yeah, goals, right? Humans are very focusing creatures. We always want to know what the next thing is so that we can focus on it. Without it, we don't know what to do. It's kind of like an acid trip where you are just confused and you don't really know what to do because everything you're doing seems too subtle. You feel that you have to be doing something more to keep reaching that edge, I think. So whether it being sex or masturbation or painting or playing music during acid, you have to be doing some sort of activity. You don't always necessarily have a goal in mind when you're doing acid, but the whole point is that even if being under the influence of drugs, you want to get yourself to a point where you want to be pursuing something. You want to reach an end goal, which can happen by playing music. You can play a couple chords that sound good together wise and realize that, hey, that was pretty good, I just played that. Now you can move on to something else. Essentially, even when you're on drugs, even when you're doing acid, even when you're smoking weed, the whole point is an end goal, right? So smoking weed, the end goal is to smoke this blunt. You want to smoke this whole blunt. I don't know if you guys feel this sometimes, but I could smoke 3 hits off of one blunt and still feel the same as if I smoked like the entire blunt to myself. Maybe it's not scientifically accurate, but that's how I feel a lot of the times. And that's how I feel it is with life. You know, like we're eventually a whole blunt. We are. And we want to be able to smoke the whole thing as fast as possible, because we don't want to delay gratification by cutting it short and waiting. We want to do it as fast as possible. But the thing about being as fast as possible is that you're also efficient. You're able to get things done a lot faster than if you just stopped it and continued on your way. It's kind of an oxymoron, I would think, because you can always stop the blunt and wait until later. But the whole point is about finishing things, and you want to finish this. You essentially want to, like, there's going to be a goal in mind to finish this. Even if you just leave it as a roach, you're eventually going to finish it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're the kind of person that just leaves the roaches on the asher and doesn't care about it anymore. But me personally, I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that likes to get things done now, so that I can focus on what that brought me, on what state that put me in as a whole, and I don't have to worry about what else it's gonna bring up in the future. I have it all at hand, in front of me, and maybe that's why beverages are appealing. That's also probably why I eat too fast. But anyways, getting back to the goals part. You want to have goals. You want to have something that you can pursue, because if you don't have them, you're going to be pretty much aimless. You don't have a reason to do things that you do in your everyday life. You become so demoralized to the point where you think that what is actually, you start to realize what the meaning of, you start to question what the meaning of life is. And once you get to that point of questioning, like, what is my existence about? Why am I alive? That means you're really fucking bored. You're really bored. You reach the end of the spectrum where you need to figure something out. Because if you don't, then you're gonna just keep going negative, and eventually give you enough willpower to just say that none of this is worth it. That you just wanna not really experience it. And that's why men have divorced men have a 5 times higher suicide rate than women. It's crazy. It's really crazy. That lighter does not work. I'm going to use the stove real quick. Be right back. Back, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Peace out.